Oh, they have, and it created a very interesting conspiracy theory within the sovereign citizen movement. Meet David Wynn Miller, or as some people refer to him as Fulcolin Miller. He's called that because if you asked him what his name was when he was alive, he would tell you it was David-Wynn Miller. Because as he said, without adding the punctuation to his name, then his name would be nothing more than two adjectives and a pronoun. And Miller believed that the only words that had any legal standing whatsoever are nouns. C. Miller claims that he died at the age of 25 because of an inept surgeon removing both kidneys and his adrenal gland. During the autopsy that followed, Miller's heart, which was outside of his body, began to beat, causing him to come back to life. Miller claims that this made him a genius, gave him an IQ of 200, and made his endorphins 6 times that of normal humans, and that he also stopped aging. I don't know about you, but that doesn't look to be 25 years old, which is also interesting because he died in 2019. Miller states that his now 200 IQ allowed him to create a new version of the English language that is mathematically proven both forward and backwards, and that this new language is the only way to write that is considered legal within the court system. Some of the rules of his language, I'm not going to list them all, is that all sentences must have at least 13 words and no more than one verb, that punctuation added in with the middle of a sentence changes its meaning, and that nouns are the only things that have a legal standing. That's an example of Miller's new language and how it's written. He claims that this is the only legal way to write court documents, and that by writing this way it will remove all language miscommunications ever. Now, the Postal Service comes into this conspiracy theory in an interesting way. Miller believed that the highest court of the land was the Universal Postal Service. He states that it was a former court during the Revolutionary War that was closed, and he now has reopened it. Of course, that makes him Postmaster General and the highest judge of the land. In Miller's view, the law, the Universal Postal Court was the highest court of the land, higher than the Supreme Court, higher than the United Nations, higher than any governing body of the world, making it the ultimate authority in all world matters. Miller used this court to declare himself King of Hawaii because, as he stated, he turned Hawaii into a verb. In line with the sovereign citizen movement, Miller believed that using this court in that way of writing, you could free yourself of statutory laws that you did not consent to. Because as he decreed with this court, a piece of paper is governed differently if it has a stamp attached to it. During his lifetime, Miller attempted to file many judgments under this Universal Postal Court in the millions of dollars against private corporations and government agencies. Unsurprisingly, none of them were successful. Before he died, Miller attempted to help people using his universal language and universal court system to fight things like criminal charges for child molestation. Also, unsurprisingly, none of those people got out of conviction for their crimes. Unfortunately, the conspiracy theory did not die with Miller. Now that he's passed within the sovereign citizen movement, people are contending for the title of Postmaster General or even Clerk of the Universal Postal Court. So they still hold seminars arguing that the Universal Postal Court is the highest court of the land and that we're all governed underneath maritime laws because Earth is nothing more than a ship floating through space. Gotta love conspiracy theorists.